sound of a steam quartet traveled through the world's largest unthinkable liner, the Titanic. The sun and the moon made people forget they were in the middle of the ocean. People were happily dancing, eating, and drinking. A few hours later, crash! The Titanic had collided with an iceberg and started to sink. However, there were not enough lifeboats for everyone. As a result, approximately 1,500 out of 2,200 people sank to the bottom of the sea. Why didn't they have enough lifeboats? It was due to a killer in ourselves. No mercy bias. Today, I would like to talk about how the no mercy bias affects us. Through my speech, I will give you a tip to protect yourself when an emergency situation occurs. The Disaster Prevention System Institute defines no mercy bias as a human instinct that underestimates an emergency situation to prevent the brain from getting tired of every single accident. Because of this bias, we sometimes think a situation is not dangerous and nothing will happen to us. When the Titanic was made, people didn't load enough lifeboats because they believed that the Titanic would never sink. This idea came from the no mercy bias. Because of it, uncountable lives were killed in the past, and people will keep on getting killed in the future. The same thing has happened in modern Japan. On March 11th in 2011, a big earthquake hit Tohoku. After that, tsunami warning had been posted. Although people knew the danger, about 70% of people stayed in their home. Most of the people thought tsunami wouldn't hit them, and also thought it may be okay because others didn't escape. This bias makes us dismiss proper judgment. The no mercy bias is able to change your best times into a nightmare. We should go back. Hey, come on, Mom, nothing happened to us. I said these words in happy excitement. On the last day of 2015, I was in Germany with my mother enjoying fireworks. My mother tried to make me go back to the hotel because we had someone screaming and there were many drunken people. However, I didn't pay attention to her and ended up having a terrible experience. Someone threw a firecracker at me and tried to steal my wallet. It was a horrifying moment. Although the situation was obviously dangerous, I kept staying there. I should have gone back to the hotel. I still regret it. The bias changed my best time into a nightmare. You might have similar experiences. When an earthquake happens, you're like, oh, I think it was level 3. Aren't you? Or when you take a taxi or bus, you totally forget the existence of a seatbelt, don't you? Everyone has no mercy bias, and it surely has influence on our behavior. Moreover, nobody knows what will happen next. Emergency would happen 10 years later, 3 days later, or the next moment. That's why everyone has to think about the strategies to protect oneself. Since the no mercy bias is a human instinct, it is difficult to remove it completely. However, we can control this instinct to some degree. To reduce this bias, it is necessary to get an antibody to the bias. unless you get it. You will be killed by yourself. How can we get antibody? My suggestion is asking what-if questions. Please imagine the possible dangers by using what-if questions. What if you were seen of an accident? What if a big earthquake hits on where you're planning to go? What if you heard the sound of an explosion? What kinds of danger will there be? You can ask what-if questions when you're watching the news or when you go somewhere that you don't know well. By simulating the situations, we get an antibody to the bias, and there's a lower possibility that we face a dangerous situation. When an emergency actually happens, it is important to focus on grasping what is happening at the moment, not what others are doing. To do so, please ask yourself, what if this situation is actually dangerous? This question is the key because not everyone can behave calmly and make good decisions. After I knew about the bias, I came to consider something unusual, such as a big sound or even a little quake in connection with danger, and ask myself what-if questions. I'm not saying don't go anywhere or don't do anything, but I want you to notice that your casual decision based on what-if questions may change your destiny. Through the what-if questions, you can realize what you should do for the emergencies easier than ever before. Here's a successful example. According to Japan Society for Natural Disaster Science, on that day, one city in Iwate Prefecture succeeded in saving 99.8% of children's lives. In the city, there is a word that has been passed down through the generations. That is, tsunami tendenko, which means run away without carrying other people when an earthquake happens. Based on this word, people run away from the ocean as soon as possible and save their own lives. What I want to emphasize is that many what-if questions are underlying in this word. What if a tsunami actually comes to the house? Or what if I fail to escape while waiting someone on instructions? Thanks to this, people knew what to do under the emergencies. On that day, escape or not, decided outcome. What if was the key to save their lives from the killer? In today's society, where everything changes rapidly, it is possible that something dangerous might happen in this otherwise safe country, Japan. Unprecedented acts of terrorism are happening in many countries on a large scale. Japan is also more likely to have natural disasters than other countries. In these situations, we get used to a lot of awful news. We take peace for granted, don't we? It's too late to regret after being involved in accidents or disasters. The past teaches us. The news teaches us, and this speech teaches you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is only you who can protect yourself from the killer in yourself. Thank you.